mid-December of 2023. If you're an Allstate agent, you know this. Our grids came out, our goals came out, the AAP came out, our VC numbers came out. And the first thing that happened to me, and I'm in Florida, right? So Jacksonville and Tallahassee is my agencies. There was a huge lump in my throat. And I don't get that very often, or that feeling very often. Last year, I was running wide open. I was doing as much as I thought I could, right? So we were writing. We have 4 LSPs, an office manager, 3 CSRs, sorry, 5 LSPs at the time. And we were doing everything, mostly direct mail, mostly referrals, mostly cross sales, stuff like that. And we hit VC every single month. And then with 2 weeks to go in the year, our VC number jumped from the 30s to high 50s. And I was like, dang, how am I going to accomplish this new goal? And then when I really looked at it, it wasn't just the fact that the VC was moving. It was the fact that the AAP numbers were moving drastically for me. And if your area hasn't had that kind of drastic shift in goals, it's coming. I work pretty closely with Allstate. I have a really good line of communication with them. It's coming. So I wish we had a little bit more of a ramp up time than 2 weeks to go in the year to start 2024. But whether your state is a green state, yellow state, red state, they're going to be aggressively moving the goals up to get going. So you can feel sorry for yourself. You can make all the excuses. You can be angry. It's not going to change the direction of the company. So for me, I took a long walk on the beach, figured it out, and I said, listen, I need to talk with agents that are successful. I need to reach out. I need to have an open mind and see what has worked in the past, go back to basics, what other successful agents are going through, and then figure out how to accomplish that. And what came up with me is, number one, I was spending some money and some resources that I didn't need to. I had an LSP that was underperforming. That was painfully obvious. So we moved on from that LSP. And then I had 3 customer service agents in our agency, primarily to handle all the companies that were going out of business in Florida, all the changeovers, all the rewrites and stuff that we've had to happen. But I had seen a shift where there's some stability there, where companies had stopped going out of business and things were a little bit more easier to handle. Customers had started to figure out that inflation was everywhere. It wasn't just in their insurance policy, and they weren't demanding crazy, price cuts and stuff. They were a little bit more accepting of the inflation that was coming through. They had seen it. And I didn't need 3 customer service people to handle that. I said, listen, we're going to go down to 2, pay those 2 a little bit more, get them to lock in. So I gave them a bump in pay. And then I came to my sales team. I said, listen, guys, Allstate's changed the stuff. You may hear grumblings and all that stuff. I want you to know that your pay plan stays the same. Your pay with me will be consistent. And I think you're going to make more money next year. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what we're going to be doing. Where everyone's going to lock in. We have group goals. We're going to add more bonuses towards the pay plan to make you more locked in, right? I know if everyone's running wide open now, I think we can all collectively do just a little bit more. And when you do, you'll get paid a lot more. And then I'm going through these changes, and I know everyone has to do more. I have to get more advantages to them, more opportunities. And I'm literally leaving a basketball practice with my kids, and I'm passing a batting cage. And I'm seeing these kids just absolutely tee off in the batting cage. And it's just swing after swing after swing after swing. And I'm like, man, how nice would that be if my agents were in a batting cage and they could just literally tee off lead after lead after lead after lead, not worry about service, not worry about walk-ins, not worry about payments, not worry about, cold calling, having to dig through lists and cross-sell and do that. Just phones ringing, they're doing quotes. And then, we could get more numbers that way. So I was like, okay, I need to get in a batting cage environment. And Team Hired was doing some beta testing with their telemarketing. And I know a lot of people on this call go, I've done telemarketing. I've done it too. Okay, I want you to know that I've tried it and I've failed at telemarketing. So I was very reluctant with it. And I've done internet leads. I've done all that stuff in the past. And but to get to where we need to go, which is significantly higher than we were running before as a mega agency, we needed to do some drastic things. So I was willing to do some things that I failed at again and try again, which is I tell my kids that all the time. That failure is part of our success, right? And I'm like, okay, time to live what you're talking about. Let's go back and really revisit this stuff and give things another try. Reached out, the team hired, and we devised a plan where we bring on a telemarketer. And why are you different from all the stuff that we've done, right? So the telemarketer, number one, was for my area in North Florida, the customers here, they love talking to people who sound and look like us. If this person has a tinge of an accent or sounds like it'd be, from another country, they just hang up the phone immediately. So the teledude stuff that I've tried in the past and these other telemarketing companies, they're all outsourced to other countries, and it was a immediate no, right? And even if we had a better deal, they were so apprehensive after hearing someone that didn't look and sound like them, they couldn't get past that. Even they were transferred to our office at that point. There was just this bad feeling. So I had a really low contact rate, really low close rate, and I was spending a lot of money. So quickly got off of that, and it didn't improve. So that was important to me, that we could get telemarketers that sounded like us, right? And that was really important. And then of course we had to fill in the lead system that the telemarketer had leads to actually call, right? So I've been doing direct mail for years. I got a direct mail list that we scrub against Allstate that we mail back out. It's really specific to the homes that we want in the areas that we want, that are dialed into the homes that we can write for the customers that would also be auto customers. It's a good list. So I'm like, okay, we'll load that up. That load goes into Ricochet, which is, Ricochet is like the beautiful ex-girlfriend that got away from us, right? So love it, miss it on Avaya. But that lead goes up to the telemarketer system in Ricochet. And immediately now they've got thousands of leads that the telemarketer can call on day one. So right around now, we're getting this set up. It's right around January 1. They've got leads from the telemarketing for the direct mail list, but I needed actual leads that were super hot. So reached out to Quote Nerds. And if you've ever dealt with them or haven't dealt with them or dealt with internet leads before, I would recommend Quote Nerds. Specifically, my guy, Ron, over there. I think his name is Ron. Let me just double check that. I don't want to throw the wrong guy out there.
Was it Rob Pennebaker?
Rob, not Ron. Yes, Rob Pennebaker. Yes, correct. Cool. And I was like, dude, I got a telemarketer and the system is going to be good. I don't want to fail at it. I want to throw some really good leads at it. How do we do this? And they have different packages and they will work with you. If you mention my name, they will give you $100 towards those leads. So call Rob at Quote Nerds, let them know that you talked to me and you're interested in their quotes, and you can dial it in. Home, auto, different parameters and everything. It is the nerdiest lead system you can get to. They will fine tune it. They will show you charts and graphs. They'll work with you dollar figures, hours of the day. You can really dial this in, right? And that's important because if I'm going to spend money on something, and I love free, right? But if I'm going to spend money on something, I want to make sure that it's worth reaching my customers, right? Not just blanket stuff that's going out there. So really dial that in. Those leads in real time get moved over to telemarketer and have higher priority. Telemarketer sees those and they call them in. Our contact rate, our transfer rate back into our agency where we're picking up the phone is incredible. So on our home, this is as of maybe a week ago. We've been doing this for a couple months now. Our home contact rate, 56%. Our auto rate, 49%. and we're getting about 23% off of the mailer list. Mailer list converts, even though it's a lower transfer rate, it converts about the same rate as the other ones because they've seen the quote. We've mailed to them multiple times, and now they're getting a follow-up. There's a little bit more of a relationship there. They've seen us and stuff like that. So, you know, the first thing we had to do to get it going is we had to kind of really spend more on the leads. And then once the pipeline was like, because there's multiple calls going through for these leads, multiple calls. So that took about a month and a half at a higher lead rate to get the transfers per day where we wanted to get. We typically operate, and this is my results, 21 transfers per day with a telemarketer for our 4 LSPs. So the cost of this was afforded at a net zero cost to me because I removed a CSR and I removed an LSP. That salary, those benefits freed up the money to spend in the telemarketer and the leads. So that was part one of getting it set up. Of course, there's training that has to go along with the LSP. You cannot just give the keys to a Ferrari to a 16-year-old kid. You have to train them on how to handle live calls. You have to train them on how to call, one call close. And then there's a lot of data that goes back and forth. Every night I get a report from the telemarketing system of who was called, who was transferred to us, and a link where I can call and listen to every single phone call that night of everything that happened that day. So I can listen to every single phone call in an email, boom, 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 boom. So at night, if I'm at the gym, I'm on the treadmill, I'm in the sauna, I can just pull up these phone calls. I can listen to every single one, what went right, what went wrong, and start training. If you don't do that, you might have a lower contact or close rate. You might spend a little bit more. You might not see the results. Of course, that is super important. Anything you want to have improvement, you have to measure, and your people need to know that you're listening also, right? So they don't just go, whatever. Our bundle rate is at 63%. That is low for us, but it resets in the beginning of the year and it's starting to catch up. And remember, my numbers are Florida. I don't have home. I don't have condo. I don't have pup. Don't have commercial. There's not a lot of stuff that goes into my numbers other than auto. So when I share these numbers with you, also know that we're selling a ton of advantage off this stuff. We're selling a lot of homes. They take a while to click through the system to report and bundle back up. Next month, our bundling report would be a little higher when things bundle up and continue to talk to each other. So 63%, not bad. But we typically operate around 75, 80%. And I expect we'll be there shortly again with our bundling percentage. This is today's numbers for our auto, pretty much off of where we're at. It's up more since last week when I said, hey, this is what we're doing. Our quote volume has driven up to 48.5% increase over last year. So we're at year-to-date quotes, Allstate quotes. You would double it if you can count the Advantage stuff. This is just the Allstate stuff. 857 quotes for the year so far. That's up nearly 50%. Items, we're at 49.5% item increase. We're at premium increase of 58.7. Our standard auto has increased to 77.5% more than we did. We did the most we ever could do last year. We're up 77.5%. I'm a 12-year agent, been doing this for a while. To see results like this is really, it's really encouraging. It's very exciting. I just had a team call with everybody this morning in my agency. I said, I haven't been this excited in my agency since we started open from scratch. I loved getting in there, talking to customers, selling quotes and building it and hiring and training and doing all that stuff when we first started. It was awesome. I'm back in that mode now. So my guys are running wide open and putting items on the board. And the next step is to scale it, right? So let's go back and answer some questions. So yes, Cindy, that is one telemarketer is getting those results. Telemarketing service that we're using is through Team Hired. So I know Team Hired, you know them through their hiring service, right? And they probably need to change their name to incorporate what they're doing. But Team Hired is the people that run, manage, train, employ, vet the telemarketer. So I'm just paying a flat fee for that. And there's also going to be a discounted special when you mention and you click the link to help sign up if you want to sign up with Team Hired to get a telemarketer there. There's a special deal that Andy will go over with you. How many quote nerd leads per day? So I do it for $1 per day. And I think they're between $3 and $4. They are pretty inexpensive. And originally I was maybe $240 per day to load the system, to flood the system with leads, to get the telemarketer going. Like I said, if you want to buy a Ferrari, but you don't want to put gas in it, it's not going to go very far. You have to load it up. And then I tapered it down, and I'm running about $100 to $120 of internet leads per day now. So telemarketing provided by Team Hired, monthly cost, yes, yeah. So there you go there. Typical dials in a day by the telemarketer. So that's a metric that I don't really look at. I'm more concerned about how many transfers I get per day. I don't care if my telemarketer makes a billion calls. I want to know how many he's making transferred to my people per day. I'm sure Andy could probably look it up and tell you, but
Usually like 4 to 600.
Yeah.
Per day.
And then that gets us anywhere on a low day, 15, on a high day, 25 transfers per day. You can pause it. So if you got a team meeting for lunch, you don't want anything coming in at lunch. You want them to start at 10, end at 4. You can kind of modify your dial times, or you want it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because you want Tuesday to follow up on Monday stuff, and you want Thursday to follow up on Wednesday stuff. However you want to do it, you can organize it to be really personal to your office. How much is quote nerds again? So I'll tell you right now, I'm spending anywhere between $1,500 and $1,900 a month with quote nerds myself. It depends on what kind of leads you buy and how much and the volume, and they'll go over that with you. And like I said, they'll give you $100 for free if you mention my name. What filters do these leads come with? Great question. So tons. You can do, that's probably their main advantage. Is you can filter this thing down to the, if they're Republican or Democrat, probably, if they like chocolate or vanilla ice cream. It is pretty detailed. Auto, multiple auto, homeowner, no SR22, has prior, clean driving, all those filters are there. So same thing with the home, a bunch of filters for the home there. Let's see. Are you leading with home or auto leads? So I do lead with home. In Florida, we're seeing anywhere between 40 to 50% price increases in the home premiums. That for me is the main driving point where people will listen to you the most. So if it's not that way in your area and you're seeing more of a price increase on auto, I would lead with auto, because that's where people are most pissed off about, right? You're giving them a solution. So I lead with the home, and I let them know we're going to save you with a bundle package, and everyone gets both. No one gets just one quote from the other. What's cool is Team Hired, through their system. I'm working with them. We're building out training with our onboarding teams for the people that are coming through, and we're building out training for people who are our LSPs now, and they've been really hand in hand. This is not just your telemarketer sending you stuff. It is, how are we doing? Where's the deficiencies? What can we provide for you? They send me memes. They send me scripts if I wanted a script. It is the most thought out platform. It's how I would do it if I was going to do a telemarketing. It's really, really effective.
And Tom,
they check. Yeah,
Not
go ahead.
to interject too hard here, but we're also going to launch a twice weekly LSP training. So all of our telemarketing clients, we're going to do a twice weekly, bi-weekly join when you can sort of training, and they can bring call recordings to that, issues they're having. The goal is ultimately to take your B players and make them A players and make your A players even stronger. And to your analogy of like hitting balls in the cage, right? If the telemarketer is serving up the opportunity, the other side to that equation is like, Tom, you've probably invested a lot of time, money, and resources to develop a team that knows how to take those opportunities and make the most of them. So it's our goal to, help agencies really develop their team through that. So that'll be just an ongoing weekly call that lasts 30 to 60 minutes. And it's just any LSP who's receiving those transfers can join the call, bring their problems, and we'll just work through and continue to improve your team as well.
Yeah. More questions. Great question, guys. Close rate. So my close rate's up 10% since I've started doing this. We're up at 23%. It does not track. Most of my home quotes are through Advantage, right? Higher close ratio on those quotes. So my numbers may look a little differently than someone across the country, but from what I have been doing, it's up 10%. So we're closing a higher percentage of these. We're getting more leads. We're getting more, our quote volume's up. Everything's up across the board as well. Can you filter through bodily injury? I believe you can. I don't know if I did. Let's see what else. The telemarketers. So I believe they're not based in the US, but you can't tell from their voice, which is the thing. We had a couple telemarketers that we've worked with. One was English, and this dude sounded amazing. He sounded like you were talking to James Bond, right? He got everybody's attention. He was so slick, so nice. I mean, he's like, "Good day, Tom. Would you like to have a quote today?" And who wouldn't want to talk to that guy? It was just, he was amazing. I have another guy. He's so laid back. He's so chill. He sounds like he's a roofer or a construction worker in the South, man. He's just like, "Hey, Tom, I've got Andy here. He wants a bundle quote. Everybody ready to assist him? How you doing? Good." I'm like, "Yeah, man. Let me get you over to an agent and we'll get you quoted up." So it's just the clarity and the they know who we are. It's a very easy system because of the level of telemarketing is different than just the overseas stuff that I've seen and tried in the past. So right now I'm using the one telemarketer with the 4 LSPs. Once I saw this take off, my brain went to go, okay, I can afford it. It's providing me results. My VC is not a problem, and I can bundle. Everything's clicking here. I need to get another telemarketer and 4 more people. So where I'm at right now is I have hired 2 in-office people, and I'm hiring 2 remote people. They're going through their Allstate University stuff right now and onboarding, and then we'll assist them with a second telemarketer. So we're going to have basically now the rookies coming on, these 4 rookies and the 4 vets, and working with Team Hired about how we can train them and pit them against each other and get some competition. We've got a really cool plan for them to make them successful, and it's just scalable. It's scalable on every single level. You add more leads, quote volume goes up. They transfer, they close it, they're bundling it automatically. My LSPs are having they're making the most money that they've ever made, which means then I make the most money that I've ever made. So ramp up period to get 10 to 20 transfers per day. So we were kind of chilling at 10 to 12 for about a month. And I was flooding the leads with that. And then it jumped up to about 15, and then it jumped up to about 20. And now we go anywhere from about 15 to 25, depending upon certain factors. So I don't panic when I see a low day of about 15, because the next day it pops up to like 21. I'm like, okay. But that's a lot for one telemarketer, and I'm okay with that. Let's see what else. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. It is something that And once we get the 4 in and we see them tracking similar results with items, we go to 3 trail marketers and 4 more people. What's cool about Team Hired also is they have a hiring service. So if you needed help getting to that next level, and I need 4 hires or 2 hires, they just send you the candidates. You go through their system. If you've tried them or used them in the past, that's their bread and butter. They're very, very good at that. And they have different hiring packages also for that, that could help assist you, get you those candidates and get you going. I've never done remote before. I'm not a big remote person. But to get the best people and the best opportunity and to get this scaled as quickly as possible, I open it up for remote for that. So lead manager, sorry. I saw that other question in there. I don't use lead manager. I've tried to use it in the past. It's bulky, it's cumbersome, it sucks. I'm not a fan. So I get an email report every single day of every single lead. There's Quote Notes has a platform inside of it that you can see all the leads that came through, the cost, the type, and I can see it. I use Performology to track the sales results. And our people right now are they're flooded in with one call close type leads every single day. So you want to play around in lead manager all day long, you want to, that's fine. My guys are in the batting cage. They are swinging like crazy, and they're hitting. So like I said, I also do some direct mail alongside of it. This has now surpassed my direct mail business significantly. So that's why we're doubling down on what it is.
And if they do have lead manager, Tom, what we do is we just transfer over to like the Avaya number or Lightspeed or whatever they're on, and just treat it like a live transfer. So we don't have that person integrate into lead manager or anything like that, because you've got to have employment approvals and all sorts of things to do that. And we're just comfortable with Ricochet. It works great for a telemarketer. And then that way we're just transferring the leads over, and then they work it in whatever system they're on. So if they are stuck to that platform right now, we work with a lot of agents who are there. But to your point, there are some things that are clunky, etc. So
yeah. In Florida. So yeah, it's harder to quote home with that. But at the same time, when you get someone who's willing to talk to you about a home quote in Florida, it's top of mind, right? These people they're feeling the pain just like anybody else. They're willing to talk to you. We tell them immediately. Our goal is to get you the best company, the best price, and save you the most money. Typically, as we go through the bundle process, we've seen stuff $500, $1,000, $1,500 in savings, and we'd like to do that for you. So and then they dive into it, right? We kind of tee it up, but this is going to be a little bit longer of a phone call because it's going to go through some detailed information, and our guys know what homes. Now, I'm not all over the state of Florida. I am kind of operating more so in my backyard areas. So our LSPs know which carriers work best with which homes. So we're taking a little bit of the legwork out of that. They kind of go to their sweet spot carriers that they know are going to be the best rate for that. What do you pay your CSRs versus your sales staff? CSRs get paid a base salary, and I'd have to look it up, to be honest with you, what it is. They're very happy. I know that. They do have a bonus on retention. So as long as they're hitting a retention numbers, they get a $300 bonus. That's enough for them to be very, very mindful of saving policies when it comes time to save a policy. And they do an excellent job. I have probably 2 of the best CSRs in the world. Sales staff, they get a bonus. They get there's multiple bonuses in their pay plan that I kept adding throughout the years. Anyone wants to see my pay plan, just email me and I'll attach it and send it to you. It's a little bit more than it's complicated to go through in a webinar, I think. But you'd have to see it, but it's effective. I had an LSP last month make $15,000 in a month. So
beautiful.
If you want to quit your job and come work for me, we're hiring, so it's all good. Email address is tpaterson at allstate.com. Also, I should have told you this before. If you're not involved in our Evolve to Elite Facebook group, I share this stuff all the time inside the group. Evolve to Elite, Evolve to Elite. Join the group. It is only for Allstate agents. Inside that group, I share stuff that we've done in the past with direct mail, Canopy Connect, different mindset things, training and more geared towards the agency owner. But that's a free resource. I do not gatekeep anything. If it is working, I want to let you guys know. My methodology is if you are winning as an agency owner, I am winning as an agency owner. There's no competition. I generally want to see you guys win as much as possible throughout the country. The better Allstate does, maybe they start screwing with us as much, right? So that's my mentality with that. And if I can help you guys, I do work with agents also. I only take about 5 or 6 agents a month to mentor and go through that stuff. So if you're in a situation where you're trying to figure out can you afford this, right? Is this something that you can actually afford? And not everyone has the dollar amount that I can spend on stuff. I am more than happy to help you look through that and see if this is something that you can do through expenses by allocating and moving some stuff around. I've done that for several agents in the past who've done this and have had major results. So going to Evolve to Elite group, join it. I'd love to see you guys there and help you guys out as much as possible. There's plenty of conferences you can go to and get this kind of information, of course. But what I've found is there's plenty of people who are on the cusp of, I can't afford to get a plane ticket, to get a rental car, to get a hotel, spend 2 days at a conference away from my agency. I can barely afford what we're doing now. So I want to come on here and through a Zoom call real fast and just give you the information, all right, and do it for free. I'm not charging any tickets for this. I'm not making any money off this. I generally want you guys to win. And if I can help you guys do that, or if you want to work more on a one-to-one side, I'm very open to that. And everyone in different areas have different challenges. And I think that me being in Florida, in one of the more challenging states, I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot. I've been highly abused and gone through it, traumatized. So I can probably handle what you're handling and help you guys. So would love to do that. Also, pay range on the telemarketer cost above chat.
I can answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's with Tom's rate, like if you were to come through, have a chat with us, get enrolled, I'll give you the pricing right now. It would be $1,997 a month on a month-to-month flat rate service. So $1,997 covers payroll, taxes that we pay them, the management structure, the technology. That's if we're purely working new leads. So if you're just doing a standard setup where you're going to purchase internet leads, they're going to hit the system, we're going to call on them, $1,997. If you're going to start integrating other leads into that, like scrub leads, and like you had the example of mailers, Tom, we have others that have different types of data they already own. Once that's been scrubbed, of course, compliance is uber important, and they're cracking down even harder. But once that's been scrubbed, if you want to work a combination of both new leads and scrub data, the monthly cost is $2,162, and the cost differential is for a custom CRM build out. Every time that we break the mold of not just working new leads, but building custom workflows and compliance structures for any other type of data that you might have, it takes a team of our company to build out a separate platform. And also the management structure is a bit different as well, as opposed to just working new leads. Some of the metrics and things like that are a little bit off, but you're in that range of $1,997 to $2,162 per month per telemarketer. And then there's no other external cost to that. So hope that answers your question.
Darren, you were using quote notes about a year ago and it wasn't successful. I understand that. And it depends on how you have it set up. So if you want to call Rob and go, dude, give me the lowdown. What are the successful agents doing that I didn't do right last time? Because there's a lot of different ways, people can get married. Doesn't mean it's going to have a successful marriage, right? So how you organize it and the energy you put into it also makes a big difference. There's always 3 areas. It's people, processes, and training. to be successful. You have to have the right people, you have to have the right processes, and you have to have training, and training never stops. Those are the three main pillars of any successful company. I don't care if you're a roofer, a landscaper, insurance agent, whatever. You have to have the right people, processes, and training. You need help with that, also can help you easily set that up. Yes, I've tried leads vendors. I've tried EverQuote. I've tried Quote. I've tried them all. I've literally HM, all the ones you get spammed with. I've tried them. I have not had any more success than I've had currently with Quote Nerds. They are by far the easiest to work with, easiest to set up, most cost effective, and I'm getting the most results from them. Just like any lead platform, you do have to stay on top of it. You do have to work it. You do have to make sure it's dialed in and connected, and it's working for you. It is not a set it and forget it thing. No lead system is. Quote Wizard was killing it for me a while back, and now they've tanked. Yeah, well, Quote Wizard is infamous for getting you amazing privatized leads where it's only you and your people calling, and then about 2 weeks in, they start mixing some bad leads, some requoted leads, some aged leads, and then a month later or two later, then they open it up to where you're competing with a bunch of other stuff, even though they say they're not or whatever. You can see it in the data where it's great when you start, you get it on a recurring pay plan with them, and all of a sudden the leads go into the tank. I have not seen that with Quote Nerds yet. So, but I keep them honest too. So if I do, I'll move on and I'll tell everybody about it. But I don't think that's will happen so far. Please complete the steps to rename your dedicated lead line. Okay. So cool. We're about 40 minutes in. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Like I said, guys, I'm energized. I'm excited. Number one, you have to have a plan, right? So if you're feeling stuck, if you're moving backwards because the grid's moved up and you're feeling anxious, I will tell you this is the best possible gig going. I am constantly looking for other businesses to buy, other business to invest in, and I can't find anything better than this. If you know of something, let me know, and I'll go in with you. But I can't find anything better than this that pays this for, the amount of time and energy you can put towards it, that pays the way it does. So I'm all in. And if you can get to that point, you need to have a plan, and that takes a lot of the anxiety away. It takes a lot of the buyer's remorse and stuff like that. Have a plan, visualize it, put it together, and have people around you that will support you and that that you can talk to. Be very careful who you get your advice from. If it's an ex-agent that hasn't been doing it in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they have no idea what's going through your mind and stuff today. I would always get advice from people who are doing what you want to do and currently are doing it. To me, it's a big thing. So be careful who you get your advice from. Be very careful what Facebook groups you listen to. That will completely derail. I have seen really good successful agents leave Allstate prematurely because they were terrified from what other agents were saying in other groups, and now they are all wishing that they kept their agency and want to come back. So that is a huge theme. So if you have an agency, man, you're already light years ahead of everybody else. You have a good opportunity. You can easily scale stuff. You can repurpose money and do some stuff to get you back on track. We do have to change. And I'm a big proponent of change before you have to, because if you don't, you will get left behind. This company is not waiting for you to make up your mind. It is very evident that the sales goals are going to go up. They want to take back market share. They want you to come along, and you will not be paid the same if you don't invest in your agency and move along with it. That is as clear as day. And you can fight it if you want to. You can remember all the old days and how it used to be. And I used to be on 10 and 10 and all that stuff. I get it, but we got to get past that, and you got to stop moving into a new world. And if you do, you could be more excited. You can have more fun, and you'll probably make more money. So Any more messages, Andy? Questions?
Not that I saw, unless I missed something. If I did miss something in there, please drop it in the chat.
Cool. Again, guys, join the group on Facebook, Evolve to Elite. If you're not there, if you're already a member, thank you. Our goal is just to help and to make sure that you guys get the most out of the opportunity. And if I can help be a resource, I want to do that. Fully endorse the guys at Team Hired. They've been absolutely great to work with, and Quote Nerds. So reach out to them, and if you have any questions about how I set it up or anything that I didn't cover here today, want to know more, email me, text me, direct message me, send a smoke signal, whatever.
Homing pigeon.
Yeah, whatever. Send a fax if you still doing. I don't, whatever.
Actually, I just heard somebody back in the day sent Steve Jobs an actual homing pigeon, got a meeting and got a vendorship set up with Apple, like a literal homing pigeon. Yeah.
Do what you got to do. I'm a little easier to get a
do.
hold of than that. But I'm here for you guys. So
Do what you got to do.
yeah, cool guys. Well, I'll let you get back to it. Get back on your day. So go out there and crush it. Remember, today's the day that you were given. Do it with passion. Do it with purpose. And keep on living.
Thank you, Tom.
See you guys.
Thank you, everyone.